Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining in. This side, Rahul Magan here as the Chief Executive Officer of Treasury Consulting LLP. And today we would be covering a dedicated video about how the financial markets are going on, which is 24th of Feb 2017. The terminal which you are looking at is a terminal which has been owned by Treasury Consulting LLP, and owned means we are paying the subscription fees for that. It is not our terminal, we are paying the subscription fees for that. Now in this video we would be covering the major currencies like you can very well see that the screen here it is blinking, right? So you can make a sense that it is going live, right? It is going live. The major turning points in the financial market in the last 1 or 2 weeks has been the Japanese yen. In my personal opinion, I think Japanese yen should have moved to 118, but somehow it went to 112. And I'm a little bit surprised that Japanese Prime Minister went to US and they had a great meeting, and Trump and Japanese Prime Minister suggested a great investment. But irrespective, Japanese yen went to 112. It is a little surprise technically, although sorry, practically. Although technically speaking, that this should not be a surprise. The reason is because this currency should head towards 95. I don't think, considering Japanese, is that there is anything positive which we are having, which we should take care, right? I think it should head to 95, but it is still trading at 112, which is something very, very, which is important thing to see, to be very honest, right? In my personal opinion, I think it is the right time when people should move forward and have Japanese yen using range forwards, whereby we need to put buy put and sell call. In the buy put, I think you should go out of the money, and in sell call, you should also go and you should automatically be in the money. In my personal opinion, keeping 110 level at buy put and getting 116, 117 level in sell call is not bad, right? It's not bad in the sense like, to be honest, it's not bad in the sense like things are. I think that Japanese yen will move further. And to be very honest, that there are a lot of meetings which has happened recently in the White House, which suggests that Donald Trump is very very serious when it comes to pushing the manufacturing reform in US. And Chinese and Japanese companies are seriously would like to invest in US. So in that regards, I strongly see that Japanese yen would go up, and I think it might touch 116, 117 as well. It is my personal opinion as a corporate treasurer that time is right that I think we should move towards the Seagull. I think Seagull is going to be the good choice. However, we should keep buy put and sell call. Out of the money buy put and out of the money sell call. This is one thing. I'm also very surprised that in the last 2 weeks, cable has kept its position as 1.24, which you can see here, 1.2492. It is roughly 1.25, right? Because cable is a currency from the last 10 years. I'm having a personal opinion that cable is a currency which swings by more than two big figures in a day. And if we carefully see that from the last 2 weeks, it has kept at between 1.24 to 1, technically speaking, 1.2450 to 1.25, 1.25, which is a very much surprise. Today also, I was watching Bloomberg TV and I got to know that the Brexit bill is going to cost roughly 90 billion, roughly 60 billion euro, and which is approximately 65 to 68 billion dollar. And if we carefully get the news which is happening from the which is getting from the public media, the news clearly states that majority of the banks would like to shut their office in London, and they are calling people outside, which is in Paris, Frankfurt, and Luxembourg. So this is creating a very good which is indeed creating a very good opportunity, right? In my personal opinion. Last but not the least, if we're moving ahead to Aussie dollar, which is here, and I think Aussie is going good because dollar is losing strength. Currently, dollar index is close to 101. Although I'm very much surprised that all the dollar directs are going up. Like Philippines peso is 50.30, like GBP is down, which is in dollar indirect, like Euro is down, which is 1.05, like Canadian dollar is 1.31, Sing dollar is 1.42. So everything going good from dollar except in Indian rupee. If you if you talk about dollar indirects, then in my personal opinion, in dollar indirects, Aussie is doing good. Aussie is 0.77, although it is 2 or 3 big figures above what it should be. Historically speaking, in the last from the quite some time, we have saw Aussie at 0.77. I think it is a very right time when we move forward, and we should have Aussie as a range forward, which is buy put and sell call. I don't think CCAL is something which is mandatory here, but buy put and sell call is something which works. Buy put and sell call works for Aussie. Now, if we go down and if we look at the euro, euro is still maintaining a position of 1.06. Euro is still maintaining a position of 1.06, which is a very much surprise to me. In the sense, like the talks were going on that the euro will touch the parity. In fact, I was also of the personal opinion that euro should have touched the parity, but somehow not been able to make sense that why euro is not touching the parity and why euro is going up. Like if you carefully watching all the news, then Italian bank will also asking for $20 billion of a hole which they have in their balance sheet in their banking system. France is not going good. Deutsche Bank every second day is facing a different kind of scandals, and if I'm not wrong, they have been punished again because of the mirror trading. European banking is not going good. Royal Bank of Scotland has clearly said that they need a further 2 billion GBP cut, and I don't know how many jobs this time it will go, but I think this is more than 10,000 jobs which are all set to go if you need 2 billion cut. To be very honest, I'm not sure about that, but my personal suggestion is that if European banking will not recover, then I think the banking would be history in Europe, and I think thousands of jobs will get laid off in Europe. I'm not sure about that. In that sense, the crosses would be very very volatile, and especially these crosses which we are talking about, which is a euro crisis, which is euro crosses, which is euro dollar, euro to GBP, euro to Japanese yen, euro to CHF. This cross is very very important. Euro to CHF, because there was a time when it was capped at 1.05 by Swiss National Bank, and you know that they are in the negative territory. Swiss National Bank, in amongst those national bank, those who have a negative territory rates. I think Euro CHF is a big thing, and I don't think that I seriously speaking, I don't think that Swiss National Bank is in a position to cut the interest rate, to take interest rate from negative to positive. On the other hand, Japanese yen currently striving very hard to make interest rate positive. So my personal opinion suggests that Euro CHF cross is something which we should seriously watch. While considering others, I think that all the traders who are moving to crosses, that GBP to Japanese yen, GBP to CHF, is something which is carefully watched. In my personal opinion, this cross is also very relevant, which is GBP to Aussie dollar. I think that Aussie dollar would continue to move up, but I don't think that it will touch 0.80, because dollar strength would surely come back soon. I don't think that it would touch 0.80. Since dollar strength will come back and GBP to fall, I think this cross will fall. In my personal opinion, all the traders, though, to have GBP Aussie, I think they should sell here. 1.62 or relatively 1.64, it's a good deal, right, to sell, to be honest. Not a bad deal, right, to sell. And certainly 1.58 or 1.59, which is 4 to 5 big figures here there would value. 4 to 5 big figures here there would value. I think traders can short that. Last but not the least, financial markets are growing very good. We know that the dollar index is trading approximately 101, and it has relatively little less, very less vis-a-vis what we had when Trump took over. Trump took over at 100. When Trump was there, dollar index was 103, and from 103 it has never pushed back to 100. It went down to 101, and maximum it pushed back to 101.5 or 101.7. It has never pushed back to, 103 again. But I strongly see that, considering Trump is meeting the manufacturing CEOs and CFOs, I think that this is the right side, and I think that dollar would move up, and dollar would further gain its strength to 104, 105. I might not be surprised that by March the same dollar index could have touched the same dollar index could have touched 105 five or maybe higher than that. This was a little thought about the commentary. Markets are growing very volatile. In my personal opinion, traders should be very careful. We also have our own foreign exchange desk. We are turning very, very careful. I think currencies can go anywhere. In my personal opinion, currencies are more or less emotional in nature than fundamental in nature. Emotionality is very high currently in the currencies. So you should be very much careful about that. At the same time, we would like to warn traders not to use the obsolete instruments like forwards and all. I think you should, sorry, futures and all. I think you should use the dedicated option strategies like range forwards and others. I think the time is very right when we move towards exotics because I think this is something which can save us. Last but not the least, we keep adding more videos on our YouTube and hopefully we are moving towards 300. With this, we will touch 294 and hopefully, maybe probably in the next 10 days, we would touch the golden benchmark of 300 videos on the YouTube, and which I think we would be amongst very less quantum of channels who would have more than 300 technical videos on the YouTube. We would like to thank you very much, and we would like to praise you that our February version of banking magazine, the Maverick Treasurer, is coming up, and probably in the next 4 or 5 days that you would have that magazine, and hopefully we are doing a lot of initiatives this time, new things which we are adding in our magazine, and hopefully you would like that. We wish you all the best and thank you very much. In case of anything, you please welcome to connect us. We are at the end. We would like to praise you. At the end, we would like to praise you that we are bringing a lot of changes in our website, and with these changes, you are able to download any course from our website directly in the next 10-15 days, and moreover, you are able to launch more than that from our website. We thank you very much for your time to give a good support to our YouTube channel, and we assure you that our YouTube channel will continue to give you more, and having dedicated excellent videos. Thank you, and have a great time.